Helo, noswaith dda, good evening, croeso I AMSER STORI y Fenter. Welcome to the Venture Story Time. Now, I start tonight with some absolutely fantastic news. You may not have heard, but Malcolm King, the manager of the Venture, has just been announced as the new First Minister of Wales. I think this is absolutely incredible news, and I can't wait to see the amazing changes that Malcolm is going to make for Wales. This is absolutely incredible. So, llongyfarchiadau, congratulations, Malcolm. What a bright future we have here in Wales from today. Did I get you? April Fools! It's a shame that Malcolm is not going to be the First Minister of Wales. Maybe one day, but not today. I hope that this is one of many April Fools that you've had today. So, those of you who've been joining us for the last week or so, we've been reading The Worst Witch by Jill Murphy. We finished that last night, so all 10 chapters have been read, and they are available on our Facebook page. So if you want to go back and watch them, you can do. They are all available, and they are also on our YouTube page as well. So I hope you enjoyed Mildred Hubble's adventures at Miss Cackle's Academy. But that does mean that we're going to start a new story today, and that story is The Iron Man by Ted Hughes. So I hope that you're going to join us for the next 5 nights. There's only 5 chapters, so it's quite short. For the next 5 nights, we're going to be reading The Iron Man by Ted Hughes. Just before I forget, big shout out to Morgan Peters, who commented on last night's video and said that he was enjoying the book. I'm so glad to hear that, Morgan. Please keep your comments coming in. Please let us know how you're doing. I'll try and get this video up now on the laptop so I can see your comments. But yeah, please comment, join in, and also share this video. Share it onto your Facebook so that other people have got the opportunity to join us for AMSER Story as well. So let's dive right in with chapter 1 of The Iron Man. And it says in the front, to Frida and Nicholas. Chapter 1, The Coming of the Iron Man. The Iron Man came to the top of the cliff. How far he had walked, nobody knows. Where had he come from? Nobody knows. How was he made? Nobody knows. Taller than a house, the Iron Man stood at the top of the cliff, on the very brink in the darkness. The wind sang through his iron fingers. His great iron head, shaped like a dustbin, but as big as a bedroom, slowly turned to the right, slowly turned to the left. His iron ears turned this way and that way. He was hearing the sea. His eyes, like headlamps, glowed white and then red, then infrared, searching the sea. Never before had the Iron Man seen the sea. He swayed in the strong wind that pressed against his back. He swayed forward on the brink of the high cliff. And his right foot, his enormous right foot, lifted up out into space, and the Iron Man stepped forward off the cliff into nothingness. Crash! Down the cliff, the Iron Man came toppling head over heels. Crash, crash, crash. From rock to rock, snag to snag, tumbling slowly. And as he crashed and crashed and crashed, his iron legs fell off. His iron arms broke off, and the hands broke off the arms. His great iron ears fell off, and his eyes fell out. His great iron head fell off. All the separate pieces tumbled, scattered, crashing, bumping, clanging down onto the rocky beach far below. A few rocks tumbled with him. Then silence. Only the sound of the sea chewing away at the edge of the rocky beach, where the bits and pieces of the Iron Man lay scattered far and wide, silent and unmoving. Only one of the iron hands lying beside an old sand-logged, washed-up seaman's boot waved its finger for a minute, like a crab on its back, and then lay still, while the stars went on wheeling through the sky, and the wind kept on tugging at the grass on the cliff top, and the sea went on boiling and booming. Nobody knew the Iron Man had fallen. Night passed. Just before dawn, as the darkness grew blue, and the shapes of the rocks separated from each other, 2 seagulls flew crying over the rocks. They landed on a patch of sand. They had 2 chicks in a nest on the cliff. Now they were searching for food. One of the seagulls flew up. Ah! He'd seen something. He glided low over the sharp rocks. He landed and picked something up. Something shiny, round and hard. It was one of the Iron Man's eyes. He brought it back to his mate. They both looked at the strange thing, and the eye looked at them. It rolled from one side to another. It rolled, looking from one gull and then to the other. The gulls, peering at it, thought it was a strange kind of clam, peeping up at them from its shell. Then the other gull flew up, wheeled around and landed and picked something up. Some awkward, heavy thing. The gull flew low and slowly, dragging the heavy thing. Finally, the gull dropped it beside the eye. This new thing had 5 legs. It moved. The gulls thought it was some kind of strange crab. They thought that they'd found a strange crab and a strange clam. They did not know that they'd found the Iron Man's eye and the Iron Man's right hand. But as soon as the eye and the hand got together, the eye looked at the hand. Its light glowed blue. The hand stood up on 3 fingers and its thumb, and craned its forefinger like a long nose. It felt around, touching the eye. Gleefully, it picked up the eye and tucked it under its middle finger. The eye peered out between the forefinger and the thumb. Now the hand could see. It looked around, and then it darted and jabbed at one of the gulls with its stiffly held finger, then darted at the other and jabbed him. The 2 gulls flew off into the wind with a frightening cry. Ah! Ah! Slowly then, the hand crept over the stones, searching. It ran forward suddenly, grabbed something and tugged. But the thing was stuck between 2 rocks. The thing was one of the Iron Man's arms. At last the hand left the arm and went scuttling hither and thither among the rocks, till it stopped and touched something gently. This thing was the other hand. This new hand stood up and hooked its finger around the little finger of the hand with the eye, and let itself be led. Now the two hands, seeing the one leading the blind one, walking on their fingertips, went back together to the arm, and together they tugged it free. The hand with the eye fastened itself onto the wrist of the arm. The arm stood up and walked on its hand. The other hand clung on behind them as before, and this strange trio went searching. An eye! There it was, blinking at them speechlessly beside a black and white pebble. The seeing hand fitted the eye into the blind hand, and now both hands could see. They went running along among the rocks. Soon they found a leg. They jumped on top of the leg, and the leg went hopping over the rocks, with the arms swinging from the hand that clung to the top of the leg, which looked a little something like that. Can you see the eyes in the top? The other hand clung to the top of that hand. The two hands with their eyes guided the leg, twisting it this way and that, as a rider does, guiding a horse. Soon they found another leg and the other arm. Now each hand with an eye under its palm and an arm dangling from its wrist rode on a leg separately along the beach. Hop, hop, hop they went, peering among the rocks. One found an ear, and at the same moment the other found a giant torso. Then the busy hands fitted the legs onto the torso. Then they fitted the arms, each fitting the other, and the torso stood up with legs and arms, but no head. It walked about the beach, holding its eyes up in its hands, searching for the lost head. At last, there was the head. Eyeless, earless, nested in a heap of red seaweed. Now in no time the Iron Man had fitted his head back, and his eyes were in place, and everything in place except for one ear. He strode about the beach, searching for his lost ear. As the sun rose over the sea and day came, the two gulls sat on their ledge, high on the cliff. They watched the immense man striding to and fro over the rocks below. Between them, on the nesting ledge, lay a great iron ear. The gulls could not eat it. The baby gulls could not eat it. There it lay on the high ledge. Far below, the Iron Man searched. At last he stopped and looked at the sea. Was he thinking that the sea had stolen his ear? Perhaps he was thinking the sea had come up while he lay scattered and had gone down again with his ear. He walked towards the sea. He walked into the breakers, and there he stood for a while, the breakers bursting around his knees. Then he walked in, deeper, deeper, deeper. The gulls took off and glided down low over the great iron head that was now moving slowly out through the swell. The eyes blazed red, level with the wave tops, till a big wave covered them and foam spouted over the top of the head. The head still moved under the water. The eyes and the top of the head appeared for a moment in a hollow of the swell. Now the eyes were green. The sea had covered them and the head. The gulls circled low over the line of bubbles that went on moving slowly out into the deep sea. And there's an image there of the Iron Man heading out to sea. And that's chapter 1. So a very different type of book. I hope you enjoyed that. And I wonder where the Iron Man came from. He's quite a big beast, isn't he? And he fell apart and then he put himself back together again. Quite incredible. I wonder if he'll ever get his ear back from the seagull's nest. So there you have it, chapter 1 of the Iron Man. Now let's see if we can see who's been watching with us. Nicholas James, hello Nicholas. Playworker Rhiannon, hello to you, Playworker Rhiannon. Deacon Jones, this is amazing. Oh, diolch yn fawr, thank you very much, Deacon. Karen from the early years, she's watching. And Tony Gibson. So Tony's been a volunteer youth worker at our youth club for quite some time and was with us last year as well. So a big shout out to you, Tony. And I'm just going to check on here to make sure that there's no other comments that have not come up on there. But just to let you know as well, we want to hear from you. We want to know what you've been doing at home. Please send us in any pictures or drawings or any of the work you've been doing at home, anything you've created in the garden. We would absolutely love to see what you've been doing. As I keep saying, this is one of my favourite times of the day where I get to catch up with you and make sure that everyone's okay and let you know that we're all okay. So on behalf of myself, the Play Team, the Val Project, the Early Years Centre, and of course Malcolm and Julie, we all want to let you know that you are in our thoughts and we miss you immensely. Deacon says, are you doing this every day? Yes, we're trying to. Now, there may be days where we don't get to do this, but so far, since we've started, we've been here every day at 6 o'clock. So, Deacon, please join us if you can. That would be absolutely fantastic. And please share this as well so that other people who perhaps don't know what we're doing have the opportunity to join in as well. And we're going to put these on our YouTube channel too, so you can watch them there. And put them on your telly if you want. Maybe your mobile screen's a little bit too small. But thank you for joining me for chapter 1 of the Iron Man. And chapter 2, just to give you a hint as to what we might expect, is called The Return of the Iron Man. Well, I, for one, am very excited to read chapter 2. So, diolch yn wylio. Thank you for watching. I've got my usual chocolate boy, which is now nicely cooled down so I can drink it properly. So yeah, diolch yn wylio. Thank you for watching. Breuddwyddion dda, sweet dreams, nos da, good night, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Ta-ta everyone.